Out of left field. My name's Josh. I'm here with my buddy Ken.
Hello.
Uh, basically, everything's out of left field. There's no script to this. Kind of came up with the idea while we were sitting around getting extra wasted, and
That's the plan today.
and all the crazy bullshit that we always say. We always say we always needed to record it. So we're gonna give that a shot tonight, and if you like it, that's awesome. If not, then you can pretty much kiss our ass.
Yeah, then don't listen to us. But yeah, this is just the normal shit that we talk about on a daily basis, and that makes us laugh our asses off, and hopefully we make you laugh. And if so, cool. If not, all right, whatever. But so yeah, so shit we talk about.
So I don't know what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about kind of some sports stuff.
Yep.
You know, talking about the Blues and
Yep. Yep.
Roar
Roar
Bacon.
bacon. Roar bacon. That's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we were having a good laugh about just like social media,
That's true.
and it's it's really fucked up the way things have changed over the last 20 something or 10 something years, because in 20 years, I don't know. It's kind of fucked up what happens to people, and how like kids can get away with like being fucking mean to women and being mean to girls. And
Well, we were talking about earlier. We were talking about just Twitter in general. We talked about the Edwardsville High School has got a Twitter page up called EHS EHS poll or something to that effect, and they're basically putting girls on blast,
yeah,
and even guys too, I guess. But who's the worst at giving head, and
yeah,
who's the biggest slut.
Back in the day, it was just like that shit went around by like word of mouth, and now it's like it's on the fucking internet, like it's accessible by anybody.
Yeah,
and it's fucked up.
Well, when we were kids, we knew who those like girls and guys were.
Yeah.
But like our parents didn't know.
No.
Like now
parents can
like
follow that
the
shit.
parents know. Like your grandmother knows if you're like a giant hoe bag.
Yeah.
Like that's totally messed up. I just to me it doesn't make any sense that the kids would get put out there like that.
Yeah.
I know that when I was a kid, I did a lot of stuff that I probably should not have done. Probably shouldn't have been smoking weed in vocational class.
Yeah.
And there's no way I ever would have been eligible for sports or anything like that, but I would have got caught.
Yeah.
Like now, if you think about it now.
I don't know.
I
never got caught.
I know, but like now, think about if you did it now. Like if you drank like you did in high school, and smoked, and you did those things that you did then.
I do those things now.
I understand that, but like if you did them now as a kid.
Oh, as a kid, well, yeah, it's all over the fucking internet now.
Exactly.
Like you can't go to a party without people fucking like taking pictures and
Snapchat, Instagram,
and
like all that stuff.
Twitter, and I mean everybody's like everyone. There's fucking pictures of everybody out there now doing fucked up shit, and like teenagers need to understand that when they fucking take dick pics or naked pics or like whatever, like teenagers are going to fucking jail, which is fucked up. But teenagers are going to jail for taking fucking like naked selfies and sending them to each other, because it's like fucking considered child porn. They need to understand that shit's on the internet now. Like shit that's on the fucking Instagram and like their fucking cleavage pictures. When they're fucking 40 years old, when someone Googles them and they go back far enough, they're gonna fucking find pictures of their tits out. And I have a fucking problem with that.
Yeah.
Especially having like a young daughter, which I can't imagine what's gonna happen in the next like 10 to 12 years with fucking internet usage and technology.
Exactly.
I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem. Like, kids just don't fucking understand it.
Yeah, but if you talk to like 21-year-old you, and you're like, all right, there's this really chick.
Oh no, I want to see all the fucking naked
exactly,
chicks.
exactly.
Yeah,
like,
fuck
it's so hard to convince high school age kids and even middle school age kids, which I have
middle school. Fuck.
Well, I have a lot of contact with those age kids.
Yeah.
Through coaching, I'm telling these kids like, hey, don't put this on social media.
Yeah.
Hey, don't email this. Hey, you have a girlfriend, all right, that's cool, but don't do this. Like, don't say these things.
Hey, don't fuck her without a condom.
That is a great thing, And I've had kids knock on my door. Hey, coach, can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, sure. What's going on? Okay, so last weekend I had this thing happen and. And I was wearing a condom, but I think it broke. And what do I do? And and you're just looking at this kid, and you're like, oh my god, I was you, but
like, how do you even know how to use your dick? Like, you're fucking 12. You're 12.
Well, I mean, 17, 18 years old.
Okay,
like, These are my high school kids.
These are senior kids. Okay.
Yeah, these are not my freshman kids. My freshman kids came up and they were like, "Oh, coach, I'm trying to get balls deep in this girl." I'd be like, "Hey, like, let's not do that yet. Like, let's hang on. Let's wait a minute." But I'm looking at this kid. I'm looking him dead in the eye, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, I not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm like, "Dear God, you're lucky you have me."
Yeah.
Because. Like, the first thing I said is, did you go talk to your dad about this? And he's like, oh, God, no. I'm not gonna, my dad beat my ass. And that's true. Like, it really is true. But I'm just looking at this kid going, man, like, you have so much more to learn.
Yeah.
But, when I was his age, I mean, dear God, the things that we did.
Yeah.
Like, social media, just...
Yeah, dude, if the shit that I did was on the internet, I would not have a job.
It's amazing. It's amazing just thinking about how connected we are with each other. I love the internet and I love social media for the simple fact that friends that I had as early as grade school and high school, like, I can still connect with those people. I can still talk to them, and it keeps us close and we're friends. Even friends that I made in college, you're able to talk to those people.
Yeah.
But still, there's a lot of people that I don't want to talk to.
Yeah, well, that's why I deleted Facebook, is because as much as I could, like, connect with those people I've been friends with since, I was a fucking elementary school, sure. I don't need to know that they like Donald Trump. So, like,
well, if they like Donald Trump,
I'm like, fuck.
That's the one you're unfriending anyway, right?
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think I'm done with Facebook because, like, you see the worst in people. You see the worst. You see how people vote and, like, what they think is okay and what they don't think is okay and all that stuff. And I'm not okay with it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know that, you support Kim Davis and you're against gay marriage. Like, whatever. I don't care, but I don't need to fucking post it. Like, I don't need to tell anybody, what I follow, and they don't need to know, like, vice versa. Like, who gives a shit?
Absolutely.
But I also, like, unfortunately, then when I see that you follow Donald Trump, then I'm probably, like, I have that opinion of you now that, like, okay.
Like, you shouldn't have a driver's license.
Yeah.
Be allowed to vote.
Yeah, like, the type of shit that people say, like, you need to listen to cops because that's the law. And I'm like, yeah, guess what? At one point, the law was women can't vote. The law was, like...
Black people can't sit in front of the bus.
Black people can't... Yeah, black people need
They're
to drink.
only 3/4 of a person.
Yeah, they need to drink out of different fucking
Water
fountains, yeah,
they have to come in the back door to eat.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, hey, at one point that was the law, but, you know, God forbid the law now is like...
you just said the word. What? God.
Go, yeah, whatever.
there's all the laws that we need to... Exactly. Bring all those back. Like, you know, like women can't, you know, breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't cut your fucking hair. You know what? Here's the best part. Is I saw something the other day that was hilarious. And it said... The reason that I know that the Bible is not real, that like that shit didn't happen, is because go to the Middle East, like right now, go to Turkey, go to fucking Jerusalem, and find someone named Jesus with friends named Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Like
they made that shit up.
Go to fucking like Baghdad in the desert and find a white dude with abs named Jesus and his buddies fucking Mark.
Yeah, well...
like, that's like, okay, seriously? Like, that's their names?
Yeah, well, I mean, in my opinion, well, I don't want to get off on a religious tangent, but like, when you talk about like what they supposedly look like, allegedly look like, it's super funny because like all the depictions that we actually see, or depictions are, the pictures and stuff aren't pictures that people drew or painted. Those people weren't from the Middle East.
No.
Those people were from Europe. and Eastern Asia. Like those people were not Middle Eastern people.
No.
Like those people were not necessarily Jewish people.
No.
No. You know, those people were Catholics and Christians, and you know,
Catholics. Christian actually didn't become a word until the early 1900s.
Sure.
So Catholic, it was always the Catholics. It was the Catholics. The Catholics.
Well, but you've got some white guy in England going, oh, well, Jesus, of course, is a white dude.
He was white with brown hair.
Yeah.
And, like blue eyes.
You know, and not like Korean Jesus. He doesn't have time for your shit.
He's got killer abs.
Korean Jesus doesn't have time for your shit.
No. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, back off the religious subject. But, back to fucking kids. Just kids being crazy kids. Like, I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried about, like, you know what I have to do as a father now? I have to fucking set a firewall to block porn during, like, homework time. You know? And then I have to, like, unlock the porn after 9 o'clock so he can get his session in and then fucking shut down the internet at 10 o'clock. That's my problem now. I gotta set up, like, fucking rules so my phone can access, like, you know, fucking porn sites, Pornhub, and my kids doesn't. That's my problem. That's, like, I have to do that shit now as a father.
Here's what we have. Here's what we have, as far as just touching on, like, you just touched on, like, you know, access to pornography. Well, access to pornography, like, in the job that I have right now, I have to manage kids' computers that are owned by our school district. They're the child's study tool. It's their book. It's their homework.
Yeah.
But dad or mom...
cum stains on it.
Yeah, why are these keys sticky? That's because when little Susan or little Jimmy goes to bed, dad grabs the dad or mom.
Dad.
It's probably dad.
What? You thinking the kids don't fucking look at porn?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that kids... the kids are curious. I mean, but here's the thing. When it's... Here's how you know. Here's how you know. Look at their history. Okay. Look at the history.
Okay.
If they're Googling, like, juicy queefs or big booty hoes, and then they get to porn, okay, it's the kid. But when it's directly typed in, like, I need to go to redtube.com or pornhub.com or Brazzers, and they have an account, you know it's mom and dad.
No, not necessarily.
Tell me a 12-year-old kid who has a credit card, who has a Brazzers account.
Well, okay, 12-year-old. Well, here's the thing.
We're not talking about high school kids. We're talking about middle school age kids.
Maybe, but seriously, but why why would mom or dad go look at porn on the kid's laptop? Why not look at their own damn laptop or their
Because they don't
phones?
have it. Because the demographic of people who live in the district that we live in right now, in the school district that we live in, where we are 75% free and reduced lunch.
Yeah.
Where mom and dad they have phone. Oh hell yes, they have an iPhone. They have their link card, an iPhone, and they're driving a really nice car. But then again, we're paying for all their groceries. Different subject, but still.
So you're saying I shouldn't send my kid to Collinsville School District?
Absolutely, I'm saying 100% sure that you should send your kid there. What I'm saying is it's not about the kids. It's about the parents. The parents have this thing where they have certain things, but they don't have their own computer.
Yeah.
Because that's not a need. They have their phone. They can get on the internet with their phone. But the PC that's provided to them by the school district, that's free and it's got a bigger screen on it.
Yeah, true.
So
okay,
that's
I get you. Yeah.
I'm not saying that kids don't look at porn because they absolutely 100% do.
But they look at like dumb shit. They're just like
they don't know. That's why I said you look at their browser history. If you look at the browser history,
hot chick naked.
Yeah,
hot,
if you're looking for not J-Lo. That dates us because J-Lo's
J-Lo.
you're looking for what's the chick, the Anaconda chick, Nicki Minaj. That's it. Sorry. Nicki Minaj. If you're looking up Nicki Minaj, big booty, ass shaking, if you're looking up that,
you're a kid.
I know you're a kid.
Yep.
I know that you're an idiot. I know, and you're googling what 69 is, and all these terms that kids, of course, hear.
Yeah.
And probably stuff that you and I, as the same age, were as curious at.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. This goes all the way back to the social media and the access. They can get on the internet and they can look it up.
Yep.
When you and I were kids, so 1999 is when I graduated high school. We had some computers at the school. I got my very first personal computer with internet in 1999.
I was a little bit before that. I bet I was 97 to 98. But yes, I had my own computer. Well, see, I actually started before then, going out to a friend's house, and they had internet. And, of course, I would stay up past everybody's bedtime and fucking look at, whatever I could think of. I actually had a piece of paper, a notepad, under my bed that I wrote out, what I thought I should look up. My brainstorming sessions of, porn ideas at 13 years old.
No porno mag.
No porno mag, but I wrote it out. I wrote it on a fucking notepad and was like, I need to look for this. And
go to AOL.com, type this in.
No. It was more striptease, Demi Moore, that age range.
Oh, that was a great movie.
That was great.
That's a coming of age movie for my generation.
Well, and it's because
striptease and
that same friend,
barbed wire.
That same friend took me to go see striptease at a fucking movie theater.
You told me this.
Yes.
You told me this story.
So he took me to see striptease. So that's what I that was my that was my holy cow, this is a boner moment. I didn't know what the
boner moment.
It was that moment. So it's just it's funny the way that's the way I would Google shit. 96, so I was 14 years old. And that's what I would Google is that type of shit. But yet,
because it made sense.
But then kids today can Google Kim Kardashian cum shot, and I wouldn't know. At fucking 12 years old, I didn't know what a cum shot was. But now now kids at 12 years old are sex tape and fucking TMZ and whatever crazy shit that's out follows celebrities. Now they're oh, so and so's nip slip, or some Britney Spears doesn't have panties on, whatever. but it's worse than that. It's like, oh, look at this person fucking this person, and it's just like, as much as I enjoy technology and the internet, like that's shit's just fucking crazy to me. But whatever.
Yeah, it actually is very shocking when you when you look at what's accessible to us.
Well, yeah.
You know, okay, so in my opinion, the porn industry has driven a lot of what media, like multimedia is.
Yeah.
Well, so like, you know, when you look at Betamax versus VHS, pornography chose VHS. Number one, it was cheaper.
Yep.
It was quicker to manufacture. They could mass manufacture it a lot faster, and so they could keep their sales down. And so you see VHS took off.
Yep.
Which Betamax was a way better product, higher quality video.
Yep.
You know, the audio and stuff. Everything was better about Betamax, but it was expensive to make.
Yep.
Now you fast forward, like 15, 20 years later, you've got DVD-ROM and
Laserdisc,
and then you have in Laserdisc, and you see what wins out there, and then even further, you've got Blu-ray and HD DVD.
Yep.
Well, you know what? The porn industry said, look, HD DVD is you can't. Number one, there's not as many layers to the disc. So we can't put as much content on there. Plus, the content isn't as high quality, and it costs more money to make HD DVDs.
And the players.
And
the players were more.
The
expensive.
Players were more expensive. You look at Blu-ray. Blu-ray was cheaper players, more high. Actually, the quality was actually better. So it was a little bit different than the Betamax scenario. But you look at the way that goes, and it's funny how the porn industry has, or pornography in general, has driven certain industries.
The way the technology flows.
But you look at print media. Print media. I think society has known that print media has been dead for at least the last 10, 15 years. At least the last 10 years it's been dead. But you look at it, and now you see Playboy is no longer going to have naked pictures.
Yeah.
They're basically going to become Maxim. Which is fine. I like Maxim magazine. I think.
I liked Maxim magazine 12 years ago.
Sure, but that's when you couldn't. That's when you couldn't readily get porn on your phone or whatever, your laptop. I mean, you could get porn on your laptop, but you know, streaming of pornography. Pictures. You know, you can Google boobs right now, and you can get boobs.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Can you see who's listening to?
All right, we're back after a little break there. Of course, after consuming beverages and whatnot, you ultimately have to go drain the snake.
Yep. I had to pee. Sorry.
Sure. But we've been talking about just in general the way social media is now and the way it affects our kids. I mean, you've got two really young ones. I have one that's a freshman in high school,
Yep.
which number one is absolutely terrifying. But on the other hand, I feel a little reassured because the fact that I'm 34 years old, and I know a little bit about what's going on with social media. It's part of it's my job, It's my job to know what's going on with social media and things like that, So I feel like I have my finger on the pulse of what my kid is seeing and getting into, and but on the other hand, I can just kind of look at him and just say the stupidest shit to him, and just to try and get a reaction to gauge him, and he responds.
Yeah.
And, now, if mom were to do that, you're not gonna get the same type of reaction. You're gonna get the little more politically correct answer, but. I think he sees the way I interact with other kids that are the same age as him, and I think it reassures him that I'm not out to just bust him on everything.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, you're supposed to get in trouble for stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't get in trouble for anything, how the hell are you gonna learn what's right and wrong? I can count on all my fingers and my toes the amount of times my grandfather caught me doing some shit I wasn't supposed to do, and either busted my ass or screamed until he's blue in the face, and all those things became life lessons and things that I learned, and I'm like, well, you probably shouldn't whip your dick out in public. That's a no.
Well,
not that I did that, but
depends
still.
who you ask.
Andy Dick. Andy Dick likes to whip his dick out in public. But
See, I never got caught. That was
whipping your dick out in public?
Whipping my dick out in public or doing anything. I never got caught. I always tended to leave 5 minutes before the cops showed up, or when the cops did show up.
Lucky sumbitch.
It was like my second cousin's like the sergeant on the police department. So I got no idea, but I'm just at a party in the city and cops bust it. Cop walks up, shines a flashlight in my face and calls me by my name and kind of laughs it off and says, well, I don't want to call your mom, so I'm going to let you guys off with, just get the hell out of here type thing.
Yeah.
And even then he's like, well, I got to search your car. And he didn't even search my car, and I had a cooler full of beer because we didn't want to bring our beer up in case A, somebody drank it all, or B, it got busted. So we kept the fucking cooler of beer in the trunk, and sure enough, we were able to drive away with it with a fucking cooler full of beer and a pretty decent bag of weed underneath the driver's seat. But it's it's just kind of crazy that now kids get busted so easy with this type of shit. So, but I never got caught. I never got caught. My parents never caught me. I think my stepdad did, but I don't know. I joke now about having weed in the house or smoking weed and stuff. My mom's just like, oh, whatever. Yeah, right, sure. Well, I didn't know about that. I'm like, yes, you did. You had to know. Because I'd come in fucking high as hell, smelling like smoke, and grab a couple ding-dongs and some Doritos and a sweet tea and, went to my room and watched from Beavis and Butthead or some shit. I don't know. Played PlayStation. But it's kind of funny. If she didn't know, that's hilarious.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
never got caught.
I don't. I know. Well, I know my grandparents didn't ever know, but
Yeah.
I know that my mom had to have had some sort of idea because. Did I ever tell you about the very first concert I ever went to?
No.
The very first concert I ever went to was a Tom Petty concert. Now, as a 11-year-old kid, my music selection was pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking like Bob Seger and Tom Petty and Patsy Cline,
Yeah.
George Jones.
Sure.
Some of the more trendy country guys.
Yeah.
Like Garth Brooks and George Strait, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yeah.
I have a pretty eclectic. Everything but that rap stuff. Like you can listen to like the most. You can listen to the most hardcore rap ever, and my mom would like her head would explode.
Yeah,
but you like play some Metallica, and my mom was like, "Yeah, this is good."
Yeah,
this is kind of crazy. But anyway, back to the story. So my very first concert I ever went to, my mom took me to a Tom Petty concert, which I love Tom Petty.
Oh yeah,
I really enjoyed the music.
American Girl.
I didn't understand what the music was about because I was 11.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of weed involved.
Sure.
In Tom Petty's music.
Yep.
Which, you don't quite grasp that. Even now today,
sure.
Music today, they're talking about the same type of things.
Yeah.
And the same age kids are like, oh yeah, I like this song, but they have no idea what it's about. No. It's the same thing.
Yep.
So
Last Dance with Mary Jane, I thought it was about him dancing with Kim Basinger. That's what I thought.
Well, everyone has danced with Kim Basinger, right?
But it wasn't until later I realized.
Anyway, so
go ahead.
So we're at the concert and there's a smell.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those weird people who like the smell of a skunk.
Oh, sure.
It's weird, I know, but I grew up in the country and you smell it all the time. You're like, oh, it's country, it's home.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
So you start to smell this. I'm like, somebody brought a skunk in here, and my mom's like, and my mom's sitting, and I don't say this, and my mom, she's like, people just can't not do weed in here, and I'm like, do weed? Like, I'm like, well, I don't know what weed is, like, why would anybody bring some weeds in here? Like, it's a concert, and then you see like this haze, and you're like, oh, look, a fog machine. And then it's only as I've gotten older, I realized that wasn't a fucking fog machine. No. That was a haze of marijuana. And I wondered why the hell I was so fucking hungry when we left there. I had a contact high. I remember, I'm like, man, I feel really crazy, but I thought it was like, the emotion and I'm at this concert, it's something exciting, and you don't think about those things as a kid because you're not exposed to them. But like looking back, like as an adult, I'm like, dear God, I was so high. I was so stoned. I was 11 years old, stoned off my ass at a Tom Petty concert. That's amazing. It was my first concert, and
that is hilarious.
It was good times.
I was just trying to look up. My first concert was a KLOU Oldies Fest thing that I went with my mom, and I was grade school. I was definitely not high school. I was grade school. So like 5th or 6th grade, my mom took me, and I got to see like Chubby Checker, and I didn't sit in the lawn. We sat in like the seats. But I remember the smell in the air and the haze and just that atmosphere. I just remember that. Even though like oldies, it was like, I don't know, like Chubby Checker, Jan and Dean, fucking Leslie Gore. I don't know, like old music that my mom took me to. But that was like my first concert. And then my second concert was Slayer and System of a Down at Mississippi Nights. So a little bit different of a, concert feel, but, same, still a concert. When System of a Down was still a an opening act. They hadn't released Toxicity yet, or whatever their first album was. But I got to hear Sugar in Mississippi Nights, like 500 square foot venue, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's you know what's actually pretty awesome is kids having unlimited access to music now. You know, think about the wide variety of stuff that you were talking about listening to, and now you've got YouTube. You can look up any song and just listen to a song from the 50s, the 60s. It's when I hear somebody say that they're bored, like, seriously, you have the most untethered, unlimited access to all information, like, ever. You want to look at a book, you look up a book. You want to see what something is in an encyclopedia, you look it up. It's amazing how what it's done, what technology's done for our all right. Josh is motioning me to keep talking in 1 minute, and it's just people take for granted how technology's helped us. I don't know. We keep talking about technology because that's what we do for a living, but yeah, if you want to learn how to hang drywall, you just you look it up on YouTube now. You don't have to buy a book or talk to somebody who knows how to do it. You just look up and this is how you do it. I want to run speaker wire. Well, look up a YouTube video how to run speaker wire. Just anything you want to know how to do. It's out there on the internet now. So kids need to realize that they have just unlimited resources. Whoa, the door just shut by itself.
I ran past the door.
Yeah, he did.
And oh my God, we're infested with ghosts.
Yeah, but yeah, don't ever be bored. Don't ever say you're bored. You have no reason to be bored.
That's the most ridiculous thing is somebody going, oh my God, I'm so bored. Like, I just want to punch him in the face.
Oh, you want to play like every Nintendo game ever made? Yeah, you just download a ROM in an emulator and you can play every Nintendo game ever made. You want to read a book? Even if you don't want to buy it, you go on torrent sites and you download the damn book and you get a book and you read a book. The entire Stephen King collection. You don't have to go to the library anymore or a bookstore because they don't have them. Oh, which, by the way, you know what's hilarious? Current events. So Amazon killed the bookstore because everybody could just order books and ship them to their house. Yeah. You know what just opened in fucking Seattle?
What?
An Amazon bookstore. Yes. Amazon is opening their own damn bookstore. That is funny to me because they caused the bookstores to close.
You know, video killed the radio star.
It did. And one day you will wake up in a house and you will wonder, where is the bathroom? That is, that's an old Beavis and Butthead skit that just fucking sticks with me years later. But, so, I don't know. Yeah, it's kids saying they're bored, or anybody. I mean, even when I tell myself, like, oh, I'm bored, I'm like, oh, you can watch any TV show ever.
Yeah.
You want to fucking watch, like, the entire series of MASH? Well, guess what? It's on Netflix. You want to watch stuff that, like, our parents had to wait, and watch on their tube TVs, and now we can watch it in 1080p, high definition, fucking 4K, like, I Love Lucy entire series, and you can sit there and watch it in 4K. Like, there's no reason that anybody should.
What's amazing is the stuff that is in 4K. Like, can you believe, like, okay, so I was looking at all of the things that I can watch on on Netflix. You know, like all the 4K stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I bought a 4K TV last year. I bought it around Christmas time. It cost me like, I don't know, like $4,000 or something.
Yeah.
Like $3,500. But I didn't, like, I could have bought one a little bit cheaper, but I got like a 55-inch. But
yeah.
I figured if I'm buying a TV, if I'm going to spend the money, it was like $300 more to get a 60-inch.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like 300 at this point. You know, it's like, well, I've waited 20 minutes for somebody to get here, so should I wait another 5 or should I just, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, even now, like, I'd be like, I want a 70-inch. You know, I want the damn biggest TV I can get possible at this point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're gonna spend the money, you know, at that point, if you're gonna spend a couple $1,000s to watch, you know, a television show, it's an investment. Like,
absolutely,
TV now is an investment. Yeah, you know, you and I have talked about this a couple times, but it's almost been 2.5 years when we cut the cord.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have you know, what was I saying?
About cutting the cord.
Oh, you cut the cord. We cut the cord.
Anymore.
You know, no cable anymore, and you know, that's pretty awesome. I mean, it's scary. It's scary that you don't have. You're like, oh, I can't just go turn on Discovery.
No.
But, you know, when you look at the amount of media that we have available to us, you know, Netflix, Hulu, most of the stuff that I watch is on Hulu or Netflix anyway. You know, if I want to watch sports, you and I, we share an NFL, an NHL package, and an MLB package.
Yeah, we split it.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, when you share those types of things, you know, you're able to.
You're able to get access to so much other stuff. Exactly. Yeah. So we share these accounts, and we're able to watch it. Now, it's not necessarily. It's not. We have to use a DNS router to like get past the blackouts, but there's class action lawsuits right now against the NFL and against the MLB to take out blackouts because people are saying it's wrong to black out just because I live in. The whole reason we get blacked out right now is because they're like, oh, well, you should be watching the Cardinals game on Fox Sports.
Yeah. Well,
instead you're paying for an MLB
that's
package.
The NFL.
That's their contract with the companies. But that's what a lot of people are getting pissed off about is because they are, doing these contracts with companies, and instead of just allowing people to, free market, being able just to access whoever, if the cable is cheaper, then I go with cable. If MLB is cheaper, I go with MLB. That's the whole point of capitalism is free market is to be able to choose who you want to choose. The problem is then they say, oh, you can choose and pay the MLB instead of buying, your charter package with the Fox Sports Network thing.
Well, even when you buy that stuff, like you have to specify, like, so, all right, so this has to do with the NHL. And I renewed my NHL this year, and remember I sent you a message and said, hey, you want to do NHL this year? And you said, absolutely. Well, I got to looking at it, and like I could have got just the Blues games, which is actually asinine if I didn't reroute my DNS, because I wouldn't be able to watch any of the fucking games.
Exactly.
So not only could I not watch the games, I could only watch the games I couldn't watch. But like just for like a little bit more money, you can watch all of them. Yeah. Which to me, it's like $20 or $30 more. I think is what the subscription was. I think it was $30 more, and I could watch all the NHL games. Now, I'm the type of sports person who, if it's baseball or football or hockey, I'll watch whatever.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be my team. I'm a fan of all the sports.
Sure.
So I don't necessarily have to go and watch my team specifically. Yeah. Now, if it was, oh, you can watch all the NFL games for this much, or you can just watch just the Packers games for this much. And it was significantly less. Like, it was like $50. You watch all the Packers games. $350.
Yeah.
I would be like, go fuck yourself. You can keep your $350.
Yeah,
I'll pay the $50.
Yeah.
But it's not like that.
It did actually give me the option just to pick the Packers games or to watch
now
all the NFL games, but it wasn't a significant amount. Again, it wasn't a significant amount.
Sure.
So I just paid to watch all the games because for me, like NFL, I can watch any team.
Absolutely.
I can just watch.
Absolutely.
Football.
Well, fantasy sports.
Fantasy sports, yeah.
Fantasy sports is...
like I'll look and go, oh, okay, well, I think this person's going to be an interesting watch, so I'll just watch that person.
Absolutely.
But for me, for NHL, for hockey and baseball, I like if it's the playoffs or the World Series, that's terrible. I just heard it.
My straw's completely jacked.
Yeah. So if it's hockey or baseball, to me, I can't watch other teams beyond playoffs and World Series. Like, I watched the Cubs-Mets series and I watched the World Series, a couple of games here and there. So even then, I haven't watched a full game of baseball in like 2 years because of the kids. I never have time.
Yeah, but so you would consider yourself a more casual fan when it comes to baseball.
Absolutely.
But more of an avid fan when it comes to NFL. What about NHL? Like, if I were to say to you, hey, the Lightning and the Panthers are on.
I could care less.
All right. I can respect that.
Now, and that's because that's NFL it's a whole lot easier for me to I don't even watch Thursday night games unless it's the Packers because I don't even know that it's on half the time. Literally this morning I woke up. Yeah. Literally this morning I woke up and I went, oh shit, there was a Thursday night football game. I better check my fantasy league and make sure that I didn't fucking play somebody or didn't play somebody that was supposed to play and then was out or something. Yeah. And I was like, oh crap. But Sundays, it's a whole lot easier for me to sit on keep the TV on a Sunday and watch what's going on. But I'll watch like Red Zone. I watch Red Zone to see what's happening. Outside of that, then it's like, okay, well, I'll watch like if the Rams play at noon, I'll watch maybe the Rams game to see if they lose, which they've actually been playing pretty well, which is impressive. So I've enjoyed that. Yeah. And then it's the Packers, or if the Packers play at noon, vice versa, whatever. But I just kind of catch what I can when I can, but it's different than like hockey. I don't really like some other cities' announcers. Like definitely the NBC announcers are terrible.
Oh, absolutely. Every time I turn on, like even if it's the Blues game. And you're like, oh shit, it's one of them NBC games. Yeah. And it really is hard to listen to. I like Darren Pang. Mm-hmm. I like listening to his commentary. Yep. He does a good job.
Yep.
But then you've got those other announcers who are just they're straight shit. And like
Petrangelo. I'm like, seriously, it's Petrangelo.
Yeah. Well,
Colio Wakabo.
I will challenge you to do this. And it's only because I like to flip around.
I don't want to suck my own dick.
No. You have too many ribs for that. No, I'm just saying, like, turn on the NHL when the Blues aren't playing and find a team where one of our former players has went. So watch a Penguins game.
Sure.
Watch a Capitals game. You watch Oshie.
Where'd he go?
Oshie's with Washington. He's with the Capitals.
Oh, I thought
he's actually on the top line with Ovechkin.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun to watch. It's like they're like, oh, those are our guys.
Sure.
Our guys. So it's kind of fun to watch those guys. But for me, I'm a hockey fan. I grew up watching Riverman hockey in Peoria, and I got a really like Peoria hockey back then. Like they were really good. They won a whole bunch of titles, AHL titles,
sure,
and they were really good. You had Kelly Chase, Tony Twist.
Yeah,
I mean they were just brawlers. I mean it was awesome to watch hockey then. That's one of the reasons why I loved baseball. Peoria Chiefs.
Sure.
When I was a kid, it was the Cubs affiliate for the most part.
Yeah.
So I got to see guys like Mark Grace, Ryan Sandberg, Maddox. I got to see those guys. Rafael Palermo. I got to see those guys live. I got to see them when before they were huge major league stars. So early '80s, mid to early '80s. Yeah. I'm watching like all these guys, and then as I get older, they're in the major leagues, and so my love of baseball actually centers around more the Cubs than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I was a Cardinals fan because most of my family was Cardinals fans.
Yeah.
But in Central Illinois, you're 60-40, 50-50. I mean, you're
depending on the area. I mean, all the way up to Iowa.
Absolutely, Iowa Cubs.
Iowa
Cubs.
So for me, it was always my mom. My mom and my grandpa were Cardinals fans, and but what I remember standing out is two things: is Ozzie Smith doing his flip on opening game, and then my dad taking me to a game. My stepdad taking me to a game. And I got a bag or a box of Cracker Jacks, and when they actually had baseball cards and Cracker Jacks, it was mini baseball cards, and I got a Dave Justice mini baseball card, and that Dave Justice became my favorite player just because of getting a mini baseball card. So that became why I love the Cardinals, is because I have those memories, and it happened. It is, if I grew up closer to Chicago, I'd probably be a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan. It is what it is, but it all depends on how you're growing up, how you're raised, and who raises you. I remember my mom and my grandpa not texting each other but calling each other after the game was over, and they would always race to see who would call who and say that's a winner or that's not a winner, and they would say goodnight to each other, and I think about that
you just got super sentimental.
I did, but that's that is
sure,
that shaped why I am a Cardinals fan.
Absolutely.
I'm a Packers fan. You want to know why I'm a Packers fan? It's because of Mad 98. Brett Favre and the damn Packers. My dad did not watch football, at least not with me. So,
I actually really feel good about why I'm a Packers fan now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna knock you for being a Packers fan, but that's kind of bullshit.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, okay. It's not as organic, I guess. I won't say it's bullshit. It's just not as organic.
I discovered it on my own.
Yeah.
I discovered it on my own. I didn't have a relative. I discovered it on my own. I played football. I played Madden and was the Packers. And that was actually my introduction to football. That's how I learned football, is playing Madden 98. Nobody ever taught me football until I taught myself, played Madden 98. And I learned what the nickel package was, and the dime package, and all that stuff, and how the defense lines up. And I learned what the offense does. And then if I had questions, I went to my stepdad, and I was like, hey, why is this? And he's like, because of this. This is why the offense does this. This is why you get 10 yards, and yada, yada, yada. You get 4 tries to get 10 yards. And it was because I was playing Madden. And then I went from that to... they became my team. They were my favorite team on the game, and they became my favorite team, and that was it. But I mean, it's the whole self-discovery. So, yes, please. And it you know, it is what it is, but it's how I discovered football. So I have no issues with that.
You know, well, I mean, I guess it's just different than the way I, you know.
Okay, how did you?
All right, well, all right. First off, Central Illinois is actually really strange, because I would say it's I don't know, it's probably 30-70, you know, Packers and
Bears.
Yeah. But what you'll notice is even though it's that amount, you know, I was on the 30%. I was in that Packers group. My uncle was a Packers fan, and I actually don't know why he was a Packers fan, but I do know that he was a Packers fan. I really just don't know. I think maybe it was. Well, I mean, back then they only showed one game a week.
Yeah.
And I think they showed a lot of Packers games.
Yeah, well, okay, depending on what year range it was,
the
Bart
60s,
Starr,
yeah.
Bart Starr and those guys, yeah.
So, my uncle, like, even though the school colors of the school that I went to, the school colors were baby blue and red and white, my uncle wore green Chuck Taylors, special ordered.
What?
Green Chuck Taylors. He was that big of a Packers fan. He wore green Chuck Taylors.
That's awesome.
Because he was a Packers fan.
You should buy green Chuck Taylors.
I should get some green Chuck Taylors.
In honor of your uncle.
In honor of my uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle John would be super proud.
Seriously.
Super proud of the green Chuck Taylors. But, you know, he got to me early, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, just so you know, the Packers the best football team.
Yeah.
And of course my grandfather was he was a Bears fan. But my grandfather was like, you know, which is funny because I did everything my grandfather did. I did. I wanted to be him. But my uncle got to me early and he's like, "No, you're a Packers fan, and let me tell you why. Because we've won more Super Bowls than we won the very first one." And well, you tell a 7-8-year-old kid that that the team that you should like won the very first ever and won more than anybody else.
Absolutely.
Well, hell yeah, that's going to be their team.
Yeah.
Now, I think I've lucked out in the fact that the Packers are similar franchise to what the Cardinals are, where they are a very storied and very successful. They're successful as far as organizations go. You know, they quote unquote do things the right way.
Well, but here's the thing. Like, what's funny is talking to my brother-in-law, who is a Bills fan but grew up in like northern Wisconsin, lower Michigan, and will say that, like, you know, it's funny to see Packers fans now during the Favre and Rodgers era. They're like, where were all the Packers fans during the, like, you know, Bart Starr coaching era when they were terrible? Or brutal. Like right before Favre, like they were terrible. And so it's sports the way the sports are, but it does, it's obviously a big boost that Favre did as well as he did, and then Rodgers came in and, you know, created his own era so far.
Sure.
So, I mean, Rodgers could leave next year, and we have a Rodgers era.
Yeah.
You know, he won a Super Bowl for us, so...
Dear God, I hope he doesn't leave anytime soon.
Oh, no, I don't think he can. I think he's locked up for quite a while.
Well, he's probably going to be good, in my estimation. He's going to be good for a while.
Yeah.
I know, players like him don't just come around, all the time. But you look how lucky the Packers have been when it comes to at the quarterback position. Yeah. Even when Rodgers got hurt, we had Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
And Matt Flynn, he's not a great quarterback, but he was in he was in the right system at the right time. And
that game against the Patriots.
Yeah, well, and
it's history.
Yeah, well, and the dude cashed in after that.
Yeah,
And, you know, I mean, but, you know, the Packers overall have been very, very lucky with the fact that they have been able to have a stable quarterback.
Yeah.
You look at teams who've had, if you flip over to baseball, you look at teams who've had a stable pitching staff.
Yeah.
You know, that's what, you know, pitching and defense wins championships.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, with football, a great quarterback can take you really far.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make the guys around him that much better.
Yeah.
You know, you look at basketball, you look at a guy like LeBron James, even though, you know, his first segment there with the Cleveland Cavaliers, they weren't dominating, but they still won, and they were still in the playoffs. And he didn't have anybody around him.
Yeah.
He had nobody around him. But you put him in Miami, and the dude won 3 championships or 2.
I don't.
I know you don't.
But I know who LeBron James
exactly.
is.
You know, but he won championships.
Yeah.
You know, now he's back in Cleveland, and they've put some pieces around him. And in my estimation, you know, they're of course one of the favorites. But are they going to win a championship? They've got a better chance because they have better pieces. But even when he didn't have good pieces, they still made the playoffs because he's a dominant player. You put a dominant player in, even when Brett Hall. You had Hall and Oates, but when Oates left and you had just Hall, they were still good. They still won a shit ton of games. But they weren't the same type of team without the other guy because he was a skill player.
Sure.
But if you have I guess kind of what I'm getting to is, if you have a skilled player, if you have a Brett Favre, if you have an Aaron Rodgers, it elevates your team.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put other players around them that are game changers, like an Eddie Lacy, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, like the guys that they have now.
Yeah.
You go back to Favre. You put Sterling Sharp in there.
Yeah.
You put some of these guys in there that towed the rope with him.
Yeah.
That were actually very skilled players. You put those guys in there. They won a bunch, and they won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know, it's because not only was he dominant, he had other players around him.
Absolutely.
You can't just put Joe Schmo in there and expect for them to win.
Yep.
I think we're going to take a quick break real quick. A little potty break and...
or do we want to call it and check back with you guys another night?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
I guess we're about an hour into it. If you guys like what you guys heard, leave us a comment on YouTube. Give us some suggestions if you have anything else that you think that maybe we need to do. And thanks for listening. If you did listen, thank you very much for listening.
Yeah.
And
appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get you back at another time.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right. All right, guys. For Straight Out of Left Field, I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
All right, we'll see you later.